Welcome to the 40th anniversary Gala celebration for BASICS, in which BASICS stands for the Bar Association Support to Improve Correctional Services. Welcome to our 40th anniversary celebration. And tonight is going to be filled with a lot of excitement, enthusiasm. It's almost like one big family reunion that's taking place, and we're excited.
Hello, I'm Kevin Lane. I'm here at the 40th anniversary BASICS program Gala, and we're here to have a good time this evening. We've got several graduates that will be performing, and we also have all the BASICS instructors here tonight, and we're excited and ready to have an awesome time.
Hi, I'm Sharon Bryant with the State Bar of Georgia, and I'm proud to be here celebrating the 40th anniversary of the BASICS program of the State Bar of Georgia.
Hi, I'm Pat Bullock. We're here to celebrate 40 years of BASICS this evening, and it's such a wonderful affair and gala.
Hi, I'm Ilya Menifee, daughter of the great founder of this awesome program. Happy to be here to celebrate 40 plus years of the BASICS program.
BASICS has been a help to a lot of people, and the incarceration rate reincarceration rate is a lot lower with those people that have come through the BASICS program.
My introduction to BASICS, of course, was through my husband. I had an opportunity to meet Mr. Ed Menifee and Michelle, and in observing the graduation programs that they have for the ladies who are incarcerated and the positive impact that they have made in their lives, just knowing that much about BASICS makes me thrilled to be here tonight.
I'm extremely excited to be here today to celebrate 40 years of BASICS. I am a member of the BASICS committee. It's amazing to see the transformation and all of the participants in the program, and we're super excited about the length of time that BASICS has been around in the state of Georgia. And we hope that everyone has a great time tonight and comes out to celebrate this momentous occasion.
I'm glad to be here tonight to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the BASICS program that the bar has sponsored. A number of bars across the country have sponsored them for years, but as I understand it, Georgia is the only one left that is doing this program. As someone who spent 15 years in prosecution, the majority of my career, I know firsthand how important it is to have reentry programs to help assimilate our citizens back into the community when they come out of prisons. The program that the bar has sponsored has been a great program. I'm proud to be here tonight to celebrate its 40th anniversary, and I hope that it has many years to come.
I'm excited to be here because I was a participant of the BASICS World of Works for like 3 or 4 years straight when I was housed at Atlanta Transition Center when I was doing time, and I tell you, it was an exciting, motivating program that definitely motivated me and most guys that I did time with about being an entrepreneur, about being a better person, a better individual, having integrity. Mr. Menifee, it would just never be another person like him, but he definitely set a platform and a foundation.
I am so honored and privileged to be here at the 40th anniversary of BASICS. This gala recognizes the tremendous success that BASICS has had and how the State Bar of Georgia has been in the forefront all of these years in sponsoring this program, which provides a second chance for those who may have been in the correctional system who deserve a chance to re-enter our society. It has really been my privilege to serve on the board of BASICS for almost as long as it has been in existence. I know that BASICS can only grow and be more successful in the future.
Good to see you all. I'm Frederica Whitfield with CNN. Hope you join me on the weekends in the newsroom. Thank you so much for being here this evening. I know all of you know why you're here, but I'm just here to serve as a little reminder for those of you who need a little refresher on what this evening is all about. We are here at the 40th anniversary gala to honor BASICS, and we're talking about 40 years. Over these 40 years, more than 13,000 people completing time in Georgia's prisons have worked hard to do the work to become graduates of this program. And I'm told the design of this program provides people who have been incarcerated with tools, positive reinforcement, and new applicable, potentially life-changing skills to be valued and recognized as productive, contributing citizens. The folks involved with BASICS say these are some of the reasons why this program is so needed. The nationwide recidivism rate is staggeringly high. A U.S. Department of Justice study of 30 states, including Georgia, shows that more than 2/3 of all state inmates released from prison will be arrested for a new crime within 3 years. 2/3. By contrast, the latest data from the BASICS program paints a very different and encouraging picture. 3 years after release, 85% of men and women who graduate from the BASICS program do not become repeat offenders. The State Bar of Georgia has backed the BASICS program every step of the way for 40 years. BASICS operating in 22 Georgia Department of Corrections facilities. And tonight you will hear directly from people who know, who profess this, including the graduates. Also honored tonight, Governor Nathan Deal, for his leadership in the area of criminal justice reform. And we're glad to give you the number of people imprisoned by offering some offenders opportunities for counseling, job training, mental health, drug treatment are approaches supported by so many, regardless of political persuasions. In fact, it's one of the few major bills that passed the Georgia legislature with almost total bipartisan support. And this initiative by a Republican governor, even praised a year ago by Democratic President Barack Obama. So we have so much ahead. Congratulations. We have so much ahead for you this evening, beginning with BASICS instructor Patricia Bullock for the invocation.
Good evening. Please join me in a moment of reflection and thanks with these words. Let us bow our heads. To the universe, you have given most mankind a strong desire to do good, to be honest, to serve others, and to faithfully fulfill our obligations to our neighbors. Help us as humans to do good. Help us as humans to be honest and ethical in our dealings. Help us as humans to serve others. And help us as humans to faithfully fulfill our obligations as neighbors to our community, our nation, and the world. Bless our fellowship today and bless the food to nourish the body. In your service, amen. Amen.
All right, and now please help me welcome President of the State Bar of Georgia, Pat O'Connor.
Thank you, Frederica, and welcome everyone. On behalf of the State Bar of Georgia, I just want to say thank you for being here at this gala event. 40 years of supporting BASICS by the State Bar is one of the critical missions that we carry out. This is one of the best programs we have, and it's just a pleasure for me to be asked to greet all of you and thank you for your support of BASICS. BASICS is the Bar Association support to improve correctional services. To me, the important word in that title is correctional, because that's why we're here, to help people who have been incarcerated correct the problems in their lives that got them incarcerated in the first place. And you all are here because we want to say thank you for supporting that program. Governor Deal, your presence here tonight underscores the continued vitality and importance of this program. And we salute you for what you have done for criminal justice reform in Georgia. Thank you. And so people who are going to give you a lot more detail about basics than I am are going to speak now and as we go through the program tonight. We've got some of our graduates here. We've got some of the instructors here. And I just want to say congratulations to the graduates. Thank you to the instructors. Thank you, Governor Deal. And thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. Let's have a great evening.
The excitement and the enthusiasm of this program is palpable, and of course it's also personified by the committee chair, Seth Kirschenbaum. I'm sure all of you agree. Please welcome him.
Thank you, Frederica, and thank you for being here. Good evening. I am so excited about this evening and so delighted. You know, when you throw a party, you don't know if people are going to actually show up. But I think it's safe to say everybody showed up tonight, so thank you so much. One thing I've just realized is if you have one of these in your purse or pocket, would you please put it on silent? Governor and Mrs. Deal, Justice Boggs, Ms. Whitfield, Congressman Hank Johnson, who I believe is in the room, State Bar of Georgia President Pat O'Connor, my friend Richard Griffiths, who retired this week as Senior Editorial Director at CNN, and all of the distinguished judges, public officials, and guests here tonight, including my 93-year-old mother, Claire Kirschenbaum. Welcome to this celebration of the Basics program. I want to thank Congressman Johnson, who got the United States House of Representatives to pass a proclamation declaring March 4th, 2017 Basics Day in the 4th Congressional District. This is the proclamation. And that proclamation is reproduced in your program. I also want to thank the committee of volunteers who worked very hard to put this event together, with special recognition to the chair of our committee, the person who did the invocation tonight, Patricia Bullock. Thank you, Patricia. I also want to recognize our indefatigable staff person, the Chief Operating Officer of the State Bar of Georgia, Sharon Bryant, who did great work. Eight years ago, I was appointed by then State Bar of Georgia President, the late Jeff Bramlett, to chair the Basics Committee. It has been a privilege and an honor to try to realize the vision that my dear friend Jeff had for this amazing program. I am so proud of the lawyers of Georgia for supporting prisoner training for 40 years. It's been a great honor to be the chair of this committee. I also had the privilege and the honor to work with the late, great Ed Menifee. Ed was the creator of the Basics World of Work program and its director for over 35 years until his passing in 2014. Ed was a leader, an educator, an amazing orator, and a light unto the world, and he inspired me. After Ed passed away, I worried about the future of Basics, but my concerns were quickly allayed as his wife, Michelle, and his daughter, Ilya, took up the cause, and not only kept Basics going, but implemented many improvements to the program, helping to bring it into the modern era of computerization and the internet. They established an online portal through which BASICS can now do a great job of tracking its participants. And with this tool, we will be in a much better position to follow and support our graduates after they're released from prison, and we'll have a better idea of the success that our program has in lowering recidivism rates. More importantly, as you will see and hear tonight in our short program, BASICS has made a huge difference in the lives of thousands of men and women. And many of these BASICS graduates and instructors are here tonight. And they're sprinkled around the room, so if you have a BASICS graduate or instructor at your table, ask them about BASICS and ask them about the difference that BASICS made in their lives. So thank you all for coming tonight and for your support of BASICS. I really appreciate it. And at this time, please join me in welcoming the Executive Director of BASICS, Michelle Menifee.
Good evening. It is indeed a good evening, so I think we can do a little bit better than that. Good evening. A little bit better. Good evening. Tonight is a great night, and as Seth mentioned, my late husband, Edward Menifee, those of you who remember Ed, had he been here at this podium, he would start off by saying, today is indeed the best day of my life. And so I reiterate that tonight. Today is indeed the best night, the best day of my life. Just want to say thank you to all of you for supporting us this evening, Governor and Mrs. Deal. We certainly love and appreciate you. I mean, I don't know of any other names that I hear amongst our students other than Ed's name. When it comes to the names being mentioned, your names come very highly rated. And so thank you for taking care of our students. Justice Boggs, thank you as well. And Frederica, we thank you for celebrating this occasion with us as well. State Bar President Pat O'Connor, truly we would not be here without the support of you and the State Bar, so we thank you and your organization as well. And we also thank you for the awesome leader that you appointed to serve over our committee, and that's none other than Seth Kirschbaum. Let's give Seth a hand. So thrilled that you all made Seth happy tonight, because he wasn't going to sleep well had it been any other way. So Carla, I think he's happy. And so thank you. Seth is such an awesome leader. He's very detailed oriented, as you could probably tell moving around. And so again, we're elated. And we also would like to thank our instructors. We have instructors sprinkled throughout the room. We actually have about 30 instructors throughout the state of Georgia. We cover 21 facilities, prisons, and transitional centers. And so we have awesome instructors throughout the state of Georgia. So we thank our instructors and we welcome all of you as well. In addition, we have family, we have our students, our graduates, and our partners in the Georgia Department of Corrections with us this evening. And so we just thank all of you. And as I close to take my seat, I just want to let you all know, whenever we have classes, all of our instructors throughout the state of Georgia, we always start our classes. We have 10-week sessions, and we always post a sign outside the door. And my husband started this, and we would say, if you did not come here to take care of business, you have no business being here. And so all of our students are in the business class. They want to be there, and they graduate from the program. And you'll hear a little bit more about that with our video presentation, and then you'll hear testimonies as well. But one way that we end our sessions every class meeting night, we remind ourselves, we affirm ourselves that we are indeed someone special. And so I dare not close out this welcome with all of you participating in I Am Somebody Special. And so that may call for you to stop chewing for a minute, but We do want you to know that you are indeed special to us. You're special to the state of Georgia. You're special to the world. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to make a statement, and you just repeat after me. Can we do that? All right. And I need the enthusiasm. As I tell my students, we need to bring it. We need the fire. Okay? And so just repeat after me. I am somebody special. I am somebody special. I may be rich. Or I may be poor. But I am somebody special. I may be short. I may be tall. But I am somebody special. I may be stout. Or I may be slim. But I am somebody special. I may be uneducated. Or I may have a degree. But I am somebody special. I may be unemployed. Or I may have a job. But I am somebody special. I may be locked up. Or I may be free. But I am somebody special. Give yourself a round of applause. And so you're about to see, if you would direct your attention to my left, your right, how special we are. We are excited about the work that has been done. We're excited about the fact that our visionary leader started this program along with the State Bar of Georgia 40 years ago, and it has been a phenomenal program.
Well, the basics program, my involvement, first of all, with the program was that first I was on a committee some years ago, but then I became chair of the committee, and I served as a chair of the committee for several years. I don't remember the exact number. But the thing that was most encouraging to me about being a participant in basics was that I was a federal prosecutor. I was the U.S. attorney here in Atlanta. And so I had spent long periods of time thinking about and being a part of the criminal justice system.
The program was started as a result of the work of the late, great Edward Menifee.
I was introduced to the Basics program in 2007. I arrived at Atlanta Transitional Center, and within a couple of months, I had the opportunity to meet one of the most wonderful people I've ever met in my life, Mr. Ed Menifee.
Mr. Menifee, a great philanthropist, a great visionary in the community, worked many different programs, and as a result of some of the work that he had done in the community with youth, the State Bar of Georgia actually took note as to the work that was being done with youth in the community in terms of entrepreneurialism, and they wanted to see how they could actually take this type of work and transfer it over to the Department of Corrections to assist inmates actually going through the correctional system.
We need to do a better job of reducing recidivism. Basics plays an important role in achieving that goal.
Basics gave me the opportunity to do something that probably I never would have envisioned as a prosecutor that I get to do, and that was to be a part of people's lives as they were transitioning out of prison to improve themselves and to accomplish the kind of things that likely they never thought that they would.
Prior to my incarceration, I was a full-time employee at a mortgage company. I was in Kennesaw State University attending college. I had never been in trouble before. I had just closed on my first home, and in the blink of an eye, my life had changed.
State funds for food, shelter, security, health care, all of that. Then the state, in my opinion, has a responsibility to return that person back into society better.
One of Governor Deal's major initiatives has been the reentry program, and it's really been great to see the Department of Corrections thinking outside the box.
One thing that really stuck out with me a lot in the world of works was the different types of personalities that people have in work settings. They described like a person that would be nagging, or a person that would procrastinate, a person that would put too much into it, different things that make it easier for you to work with people.
We've worked with some 13,000 plus students across the state of Georgia since 1976. And to be able to witness a student walking across the stage for the very first time in a cap and gown, receiving a certificate from the State Bar of Georgia.
At a basics graduation, our participants get caps and gowns and receive a certificate. They design a graduation program and their families are invited to attend. For many of our participants, this is the first thing they have ever graduated from in their lives. It is very inspirational and moving to attend one of our graduations.
Being involved in the program, the effect on me, I don't know whether it was a life change or not, but it was a real encouragement to be involved in something that was positive in the sense that you are giving people an opportunity to improve their lives and giving them the tools to do that.
The bang for the buck is very great to the state. The State Bar is still supporting it, of course, and I think I may have said this before, but I think it's the last one, the only one that's still operating.
I am proud that the lawyers of Georgia have supported the Basics program for 40 years. It shows that lawyers really care about helping our returning citizens succeed after their release from prison.
I would like to encourage the community to educate employers and community resource providers to give our returning citizens a second chance.
Always encourage somebody else. If you see that someone else is down, make sure you pay it forward. Once you reach one and teach one, you can lead one. And just being someone's sister and being able to say, hey, I'm here with you, I understand what you're going through.
The rewards come. And while you may feel like you're not being rewarded through a paycheck, but it's coming. It's coming. And I just say to all of the individuals, all of the partners that we work with on a yearly basis, monthly, weekly, daily, stay the course. Stay the course. Thank you, and we would like to thank all of the participants that made the video happen. Let's give them another round of applause. And we like to say with the Basics program that we have the most awesome students, the most awesome graduates around the world. And so you're about to hear, not only do they excel in the classroom, but they are the ones that we have a little chant that we say, I have what it takes. And all of these students that we work with, they have everything that they need. They have the tools, and we talk about the tools that they need to actually stay going and stay growing. And so without much further ado, I'm going to allow the next program participants to come forward, and they will tell you themselves how the program has impacted them and what they are doing in the community. And that will be Mr. Elijah Ruffin, Ms. Christy Ball Dodson, and Mr. Bob Bogsworth. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Elijah Ruffin, and I'm a basic graduate. I came in the system at 19 years old as a teenager with a life sentence. With that, you know, my mother always told me, Ethel Renee Thomas told me that education is the one that's going to further you. So I jumped into a lot of educational programs that the Department of Correction offered, from faith-based into the Braille program. And the Braille program taught me how to produce books for the blind. And after that, I got accepted into the Governor's Mansion program, which I was able to work with Governor Deal and First Lady Ms. Deal at the Governor's Mansion. And that right there within itself was an experience, because the Governor and the First Lady teach you how to be people. You know, she hugs you, she embraces you, she loves you, and I love it. And at Atlanta TC, you know, my assistant, Jeffrey Whiten, he knows how to just look at you and tell what you need. So he told me to go into the basics program. And within the basic program, it teaches us the business skills. This helped me redefine my skills as a businessman. And it gave me the tools, what I needed. So upon my release into the Teller House, and that within itself, and Kevin Lane, he is a instructor, and he's at the Teller House, and he helped me with getting my car, you know, because I didn't know, I was 19, I didn't know nothing about cars, so he helped me get a car. Mrs. Menifee, she helped me get my glasses. You know, I didn't know nothing about eyewear, but she helped me get in that, and they kind of walked with me, and I didn't know nothing. Me being a business owner, I didn't know nothing about health care. I had to get my health care, and I reached out to a woman I call my mama, Mrs. P. I love you. And she helped me. She hooked me up with a Stacy Neal to explain health care and for me to get health care. And so I got my health care. Then the basics helped me to redefine my business. So I got registered with the state of Georgia. My business is Authentic Braille Masters LLC. We service all, not only Georgia, but I done extended all the way as far as Canada. So I got a contract with Canada. And with that transition, I just now moving into my own home. I got a townhouse within that, and you know, just basics just taught me, just, you know, they was my extended family. You know, it was more easier to walk out with them. They helped me every step of the way. They called me, they checked on me, they emailed me. And, you know, it was just family, and it all worked in hand. And, you know, and I just wanted to tell my family, and they know that I done met the woman of my life, the woman of my dream, Nikki. We finna get married soon. And in closing, that's what it's about. You know, basics is about family. They put family first. They made me feel comfortable. They made me, you know, for me coming as a confused 19-year-old, doing 23 years in the prison system, to now speaking in front of thousands. I love y'all.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Christy Dotson. I graduated basics in 2012. I was at Metro Transition Center, and something told me to go to basics because they were giving out donuts. And yeah, they was Krispy Kreme donuts, so you know, I said, I'm going to basics. And when I walked in the room, I felt so much love from Miss Menifee and Mr. Menifee. You know, it was like, all of a sudden, they believed in me right off the rip, you know, and I continued to go to basics for like 2 weeks. Then I ended up doing something, getting in trouble, getting sent back to prison. And I was gone for like 3 months, and then they brought me back to the TC. And I went back to basics. And they let me know that I am somebody. You know, I've been to prison 7 times. And I got out of prison July 3rd, 2013. Got enrolled at Strayer University, had 2 jobs, and I was on the right track. But due to my criminal addictive thinking, I stole a shirt, a $49 shirt, and it sent me back to prison for 2 years. While I was in prison, I got tired. I was tired of living the life that I was living, and I wanted something different. And I heard this program called New Directions in Conyers. And the pre-release lady was telling me about the program, and I was like, she said this girl, one of the girls that went there, had went out to the jail and spoke, and I was like, I want to go, because I want to be a motivational speaker. So if I can get in the jail and talk, then I'm going to be a motivational speaker. So I called a lady, and I was like telling her I want to be in the program, and she was like, I'm going to send you the application. She sent me the application, told me to call her back 3 months before, and I called her back and told her I'm getting out in 2 months. And she interviewed me for like 30 minutes on the phone, and she was like, I'm going to accept you. And she accepted me, and I got out. I got a job at Ruby Tuesday making $10.25 an hour. Then I got another job at IHOP. I'm training now to be a certified peer specialist, which is mental health and drug abuse counselor, dual diagnosed. I'm training to do that, so. I'm in the process now of getting me a vehicle. I'm still in the program. I didn't have to be in the program. I choose to be in the program because I wanted something different. And I did a project for my going to training. I did a project a couple months ago on I Am a Walking Miracle. And it was awesome. And in a couple more months, I'm going to do another project on I Am a Walking Miracle 2 of success stories. So I'm inviting everybody to come, and I will let Miss Menifee know, so I want everybody to come. And I'm glad to be here, and thank y'all.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Bob Boysworth. I took the basics program in 2004 at Atlanta Transitional Center. I did 23 years on a life sentence. I was at the Transitional Center for 11 years. When I graduated the basics program in 2004, I also continued helping Ed and Michelle Menifee with the program every time they come to the center twice a year. I was there helping them every time because I enjoyed it, and every time when the class was taught, I would pick up on something different. And I was released in 2015, and I was out at the governor's mansion also from 2004 to 2015. And since I have been released, I have got married. And that's my lovely wife, Angie, back there in the back. I have been steady employed. Has it been easy? No. Has it been ups and downs? Yes. Has it always been good jobs? No. But now I'm working for an irrigation service called the Water Elf right there in North Augusta. I started with them April of last year. It's a small business. 5 people work there. And have started out as a technician, and now have been promoted to the service manager. The company is growing so much, he is fitting to get health insurance for everybody. And the best part, if you apply what basics teach you, you can move forward in life. Since when I was released from prison after doing 23 years, I had no credit, none whatsoever. So I followed the guidance of the basics classes and went and got a secured credit card from the bank, just a $300 secured credit card. Put some on it each month, paid it off. 9 months later, they unsecured the card. About 12 months later, not only had they unsecured the card, they had gave me a $3,000 signature loan. In January of this year, just to show you that the program works, January of this year, I was looking at a house. It wasn't enough for the bank to put a mortgage on it. And I was trying to figure out how in the world I was going to buy this house. I went to the bank and talked to them at the bank. They gave me a $20,000 signature loan to buy the house with. No collateral, no nothing. So if you apply the teachings of basics and the ones that's incarcerated, if they apply this stuff, it works. But now if you get out there and you do not work it, it's not going to work for you, and nobody's going to give you a handout. And I support basics ever since I've been out. I have not forgot, where I come from, the basics. If I'm asked to help with anything with the basics or anything else, I'm always there. And we would like to give thanks to Ed and Michelle Menifee for the basics program. We would also like to give special thanks to the Georgia Bar Association for the program. And we would like to give thanks to Governor Deal and Mrs. Deal, because if it was not for everybody working together as a team, the program would not work and it would not be in existence today. And this program needs to stay in existence, and I would love to see it in existence in another 40 years, because this program works. And one last thing, a lot of y'all already know this, but work is, and if you know this, you can repeat it, please. Work is the exertion of physical and mental energies to accomplish or achieve a task. And if that's applied on a daily basis, it will work.
Amen.
Thank you.
Let's give another round of applause to our graduates. Now, I think they gave you all enough details to work with, and so you understand that they are out doing remarkable works, and so we are proud, indeed proud of you all. But as Steph stated, we have graduates sprinkled throughout the room, and so there are many testimonies that you will get a chance to hear throughout the night, and thank you. And so as we actually wrap the closing part up with our graduates, we have really talented students throughout the world, be it artistic in each and every way. And so tonight you are about to be exposed to some of the talent that we have witnessed down through the years. And so without me coming back to the mic, I'm just going to introduce both of our performers, and I'm just going to say, sit back, enjoy yourselves, and again, it has been a delight. And I do thank you, Seth, once again, and I thank the Basics Committee for your hard work as well. Thank you all. And so at this time, we're going to call Mr. Kevin Hill, and immediately following, we will have a presentation from Mr. Larry Henry. Thank you.
When they go low, we go high. Spread our wings and we gon' fly. When they go low, we go high. Spread our wings and fly. I refuse to lose hope, and I refuse to lose faith, and I refuse to stop believing, and I refuse to ever stop dreaming, and I refuse to give up. No matter what, keep my chin up, my head I will lift up. There's a lining in the cloud and it's silver. We gotta let our love flow like a river, and it starts with the man in the mirror. All of y'all are one in a million. All of y'all are one in a billion. And all of y'all are one in a trillion. And all of y'all a one in a zillion. I know I am one in a million. Am I the only one in the building? When they go low, we go high. Spread our wings and we gon' fly. When they go low, we go high. Spread our wings and we gon' fly. When they go low, we go high. Spread our wings and fly. There's a ribbon in the sky that we can't behold. At the rainbow's end, there's a pile of gold. The water runs deep where the high the cold. I've been down by the river with a fishing pole, fishing all day in a fishing hole, trying to catch me a fish. Let the truth be told. In some type of way, we all got a fish. Upon a star, we all got a wish. And I wish Mr. Menifee was here, but in my heart, Mr. Menifee is here. And I can hear him now speaking so proud. His spirit is up there in those clouds. Somewhere over the rainbow, somewhere can't no pain go. Somewhere can't no rain go. Somewhere over there with the angels watching over us. Wise words he spoke to us. If I can do it, you can do it. Never feel lesser. He made me believe I am somebody special. Glory be to God, y'all. Glory be to God, y'all. He made me believe I am somebody special, y'all. And you are, and all y'all are somebody special, y'all. Now that was the introduction, y'all. But right now we're gonna get down to the basics, y'all. We're gonna get down to the basics. And the basics is the foundation on which everything is built on. The basics. The basics. So face it, you can't erase it or replace it. Everything you want to achieve in life, it all starts with the basics. Like a piece of Play-Doh, you gotta mold it and shape it, embrace it. If you can take it, you can make it. Life is difficult, but once you master the basics, you can weave through life like Neo in the Matrix. You can be stranded on a desert island or in a plentiful oasis. It's up to you. You can have a hand with no spades or a hand with 4 aces. You can't escape it. Destiny, you can't escape it. And that's the butt-naked truth, y'all. Into this world, we came naked. And naked we shall return. But getting back to the basics. I put my back to the places that's in my past. And I turn my back to the faces that don't want to see me succeed. Because the future lies ahead. And in fact, it's amazing. Like grace. Amazing grace. And right now, y'all, I'm in an amazing place. The basics. 40th year anniversary. So save the date. The basics. Let me break it down and make it simple and plain and basic. Bar Association support to improve correctional services. Now that's the basics. When a Major League Baseball player hit a home run, they have to DEANE run the bases. But before they can run the bases, they got to first learn the basics. Before a NASCAR driver can even think about running them races. First thing first, they got to learn the basics. The basics. And I can't even think about the basics, y'all, without thinking about Mr. Menifee. Because he was, is, and always will be the basics. And if I know Mr. Menifee, he up and helping right now, still teaching the basics. Still teaching the basics. And once you learn the basics, you can have a whole kitchen and not just a part of the sink. You can have so much money, you can start a bank. But you gotta go hard as a tank. But you gotta get out in the water. You can't just stand on the riverbank. You gotta put your faith in God. And have no regard for what a hate thing. Because with the basics, you can own the bath without off the blank. Life is a test, y'all. I'm trying not to get classy, but ace it. To be successful, you gotta believe in yourself. And that right there is the basics. Thank y'all. I'm gonna make it. You should bless me No matter what weapon the devil forms against me, I've got victory, victory, victory. I've got victory, victory, victory. I've got victory, victory, victory. I've got victory. You got it, you got it, they got it, we've got victory. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna make it. Trust in your hands. Troubles don't fade. Yeah. By your power, I'll conquer giants and land. Lord, I know your plans for me. Your plans for me. Plans for me. I got it. You got it. We got victory. Oh, we got the victory. Yeah, victory. Got victory. Yeah. Oh, I got victory. Yeah, you got victory. Yeah. I'm reminded of a few years back when I was taking jail time. Not talking about 2 or 3 years. Talking about the rest of my life. Everybody said I'm done. You won't see freedom no more. My enemies were glad to see me fall. They rejoiced when Larry fell off. But when I cry out, you save me. Deliver me, free me again. I'm so amazed how you forgave and saved me. I'm reminded of your testimony when I said, yeah, I'm gonna make it right. Trust the man who trusts in your hands. He's sure yeah. Oh yeah, power under the giants in the land. Yeah, I know your plans for me. I did more tennis than I eating no rules that I couldn't see me. Like 5 foot thick, I can't hear. You couldn't even off your kid. Man, I would run over to the sun down the sun up and stick up the whole track and leave it. I had no remorse and no passion. I like the villain you see on TV. Making this town of the boxing with more villain than BB66. Nobody in Jimmy and DVD that flash screen cell phone and see. Actually, MTK, moment, see you really. I had a female robbery, see me along with a leader to Jesus, freezing. Now, again, when I started to call these things, don't know what I carry my car. You might know your time on the flashlight light. I'm pretty sure you're from this city, you call when you can. Hang on. Let's go.
Thank you so much, incredible talent, and Larry, Kevin, motivational words, poetry, and the spoken word to Bob, Christy, and Laji as well. Thank you so much. Another round of applause for everyone, please, and congratulations. All right, we are going to continue our program and our dinner, and then upcoming, we'll call this a tease like in my business. Coming up, we're going to hear from Justice Michael Boggs and Seth Kirshenbaum again a bit later. So for now, enjoy your dinner.
So at this time, I'm honored to introduce Georgia Supreme Court Justice Michael Boggs, who's going to introduce Governor Deal. After 7 years of service as a Superior Court judge and then 5 years on the Georgia Court of Appeals, Justice Boggs was appointed by Governor Nathan Deal to the Supreme Court of Georgia last December. As someone who's had the opportunity to work under the leadership of Justice Boggs on several committees relating to criminal justice reform over the last 2 years, I can attest from personal experience that Governor Deal made an excellent choice. Justice Boggs is thoughtful, intellectually curious, open-minded, a voracious reader, and a very friendly, well-adjusted human being. All great qualities in a judge. As the co-chair for the last 6 years of the Georgia Council on Criminal Justice Reform, Justice Boggs has been instrumental in implementing Governor Deal's vision of reforming and improving our criminal justice system. I know that Governor Deal will agree that the success of his criminal justice reform initiative has been due in large part to the hard work and dedication of Justice Boggs, who's volunteered literally thousands of hours of his time and applied his considerable diplomatic skills to bring together stakeholders from all corners of the criminal justice system to forge consensus on important and indeed historic changes to the system. Among the changes were new laws and policies which have reduced the number of low-level offenders we send to prison, an expansion of accountability courts and other non-incarceration sentencing options, juvenile justice reform, reforms to the First Offender Act to make it fair and more efficient, development of reentry training programs like BASICS for all correctional facilities, probation reform. You know, Georgia leads the country in the number of people per capita that we have on probation, and we lead the country by a wide margin. New proposals that are pending this year are intended to address that issue. And Justice Boggs and the Criminal Justice Reform Council have implemented a host of other significant achievements, too numerous to mention in these remarks. These reforms have established Georgia as a national leader in criminal justice reform. And Justice Boggs has traveled all over the country to help other states develop programs like BASICS. So please join me in welcoming Justice Michael Boggs.
Thank you, Seth. I think that's the first time I've ever been called friendly and well-adjusted. So I am quite comfortable now. I'm going to have to tell my wife that that's how at least one other thinks of me. Thank you, Seth, and thank you, Seth, for the work that you've done on the Criminal Justice Reform Council subcommittees. I'm honored to be here tonight. Michelle, years ago, when I was a Superior Court judge, I had the distinct honor of speaking at a BASICS graduation at Nichols State Prison in South Georgia. This was probably 12, 13 years ago, and I had a soft spot in my heart for the BASICS program then and for Ed, and was grateful for the opportunity to speak and really appreciative for what the BASICS program does. And to Pat O'Connor and Ken Hodges and others that are very active with the State Bar, I'm just honored to be a member of the 47,000 members of the State Bar of Georgia and know that that State Bar supports such an important program as the BASICS program. So thank you. I'm honored tonight to have the opportunity to introduce a man that I hold in such high esteem. No one has meant more to me personally and had more of an impact on my career than our governor. What he has done for Georgia, though, is far greater than what he has done for me individually. You are all keenly aware of his extraordinary leadership skills exhibited over the last 5 years, now this 6th legislative session, with respect to his criminal justice reform initiatives. You all know that through his efforts, Georgia has become a national thought leader on responsible, smart-on-crime criminal justice reform policies that do three things: policies that hold offenders accountable, improve public safety, and save taxpayer dollars. These initiatives will serve, in my opinion, as the centerpiece of his lasting legacy, and they are a resounding commentary on his opinions about social justice. However, these policies don't rest on a genesis of partisan politics, fear of criticism, political clamor, or even an effort to gain a political advantage. No one, in my opinion, particularly a conservative Republican, would embrace and lead in their first term with criminal justice reform as the cornerstone of their agenda. That he had the courage and the heart to do this during his first term, I think, speaks wonderful about him. No, a strategic, polled, political decision, criminal justice reform was not. Instead, these policies, in my opinion, found as their foundation a heartfelt, compassionate, and keenly knowledgeable leader with the courage to lead from the heart, not from a strategic partisan agenda. He has exhibited a compassion and thoughtfulness that is largely unrecognizable in the political landscape of our time. During my years as a judge, I've witnessed the governor administer the oath of office to many newly appointed judges. Many of them, in accepting that charge, quote Micah 6:8, which says, "A man, what is good and what does the good require of you? What does the Lord require of you, but to act justly, to have mercy, and to walk humbly with your God?" While honorable traits for any jurist, no one better exemplifies an adherence to this call for social justice than Governor Deal. Maybe, growing up in the small town of Sandersville, the son of teachers, or maybe his leadership skills were honed in the Army, where he rose to the rank of captain, or maybe it was his service in the Georgia Senate or in the United States Congress, or perhaps was his service as a lawyer, a prosecutor, and a former juvenile court judge, that these skills rose. Regardless of the foundation, lead by acting justly, loving mercy, and walking humbly, he has. General Douglas MacArthur said of leadership, "A true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others. He does not set out to be a leader, but becomes one by the equality of his actions and the integrity of his intent." We shouldn't be surprised to see that the General's focus on courage, compassion, equality, and integrity are characteristics demonstrated by tonight's speaker. We should all be extraordinarily proud of what Governor Deal has done for Georgia in the area of social justice reform. I am honored and proud to call him my friend, and even more proud to call him my governor. Please join me in recognizing and welcoming Georgia's 82nd governor, Governor Nathan Deal.
Thank you all very much. Please be seated. I'm honored to be with you this evening. Sandra and I felt like it was like a homecoming when we first got here, because we have so many of your graduates who actually worked with us at the Governor's Mansion, and they've all turned out great, and I'm proud of them. Kelvin's singing has even improved since he left. He would always entertain us with his songs and with his poems. And I'm so pleased to see that he and all of the others that are here tonight, they really are part of our family. Because when they work at the Governor's Mansion as closely and in so many things intimately with what goes on there, they truly are part of our family. And what their challenges are challenges that Sandra and I try to help them overcome. Judge Boggs, Justice Boggs, I've elevated him. Justice Boggs' comments are very appreciated, but I need to return the compliments. I asked him to serve as a co-chair of the Criminal Justice Reform Council when I made my statement in my first State of the State address in January of 2011. I said at that time that it was time for Georgia to do something in the area of criminal justice reform. And I appointed the Criminal Justice Reform Council and Justice Boggs and the others who have served, and there have been many who have served during that last 7 years now, and they have done great work. And without their hard work, their deliberations to answer hard questions before you simply put things into a legislative format and then decide, well, there's questions that have never been thought about. They did the hard work to make that possible. And you know, I was asked when I made that first announcement that I thought it was something we should do. Somebody said, "You're a Republican governor. Are you sure that's something a Republican governor should be doing? Why are you doing that?" And I said, because it's the right thing to do. The only reason I said that was that's the only thing I could think of at the time. But it was the right thing to do. And I have been overwhelmingly pleased with the results. And I think everybody who has had anything to do with these reforms have that same sense of pride that comes from doing something and doing it right. But let me tell you some of the facts briefly, and it's late and I've got to go blow a building up in the morning at 7 o'clock. So I need to get my sleep tonight, so I'll be able to do that. But I'm going to be brief. But let me tell you why it was important and what has happened as a result of these reforms. First of all, I was told that, Governor, you're going to have to build 2 new adult prisons during your first term in office. And it's going to cost about $264 million to do so. Because at that time, the population in our prison system was approximately 56,000. And the prediction was that it was going to be over 60,000 by last year. The good news, folks, is it is not 60,000. It is down to about 52,000. Overall, incarceration rates have dropped by about 16.3% from 2009 to 2015. And during that same time frame, the incarceration of African Americans in our prison system has dropped by about 25.3%. But instead of being something that was impossible to achieve, the first year when it was voted on, and we started on the front end, and the front end was, why is it that we have such a large portion of people who are locked up in prison cells? And at that time the figure was it was costing about $18,000 to $19,000 a year per prison cell. It's now gone up above that, of course. Why is it so many of those are classified by the state as being nonviolent? Now, if you told the average citizen that we are spending that much of their taxpayer money to lock up somebody that we say isn't violent, they'd look at you and say, well, what are you doing that for? Well, because that's the way the system was working. So we started on the front end to allow those that were nonviolent offenders an alternative for second chance. In the general category of courts, they're called accountability courts. The most common of those are drug courts and DUI courts. But in recent years, it has now become mental health courts, veterans courts, and now family courts. And the results, without exception, are positive. And that's a good thing for our state. And instead of being so difficult to pass, that first year, It passed unanimously in the House and the Senate. Very few things ever pass unanimously. You can't even get a motion to adjourn this unanimous, which they're going to do very soon, by the way, this year. The second year, we took on juvenile justice reform. Once again, it passed unanimously. The third year, we took on another segment of it as we moved further and deeper into the system, looking at what was happening inside our prisons and the populations that were there. I think we had 3 dissenting votes. All 3 of them were Republicans, and 2 of the 3 were defeated in the next Republican primary. So, I try to get that message across not only to Democrats but to my Republican friends as well. Sometimes it pays to be on the right side of history, and that was one of those things. And Justice Boggs and I were talking, and I believe this week, this year's edition of criminal justice reform passed unanimously in the state Senate. That's another sign that we're making progress that is not partisan in its nature, but is doing the right thing for the citizens of our state. So I am very pleased with that. I want to conclude very briefly with what Basics does and what the problems that graduates from this program and everyone who is paroled from our prison system faces. There are several big categories of problems that they face. One is, where am I going to live? That is a problem. Now, I don't know whether my friend Hank Johnson that I served in Congress with is still here or not. Hank, you still here? He's gone? Y'all deliver the message to him. There's something Congress ought to be looking at. We spend a lot of your taxpayer dollars through the federal government with subsidized housing, public housing of various degrees, Section 8 housing, and almost invariably those programs prohibit a convicted felon from having access to the housing. Now, that needs to be changed. I've delivered that to some of my colleagues in Washington already, so I was hoping I got a chance to publicly advise Hank, so y'all do it for me, okay? But housing continues to be a difficult issue. And it's going to take people like all of you and you talking to your friends to get them to be a part of the solution for the housing. The second big thing is a job. And that is tough to come by. Now that we are seeing an explosion of jobs in our state, and by the way, been about 577,000 new private sector jobs since I made that first speech in 2011. Now as jobs are becoming more available, there is still a problem for those who have a felony record, who've served time in our prison system. Very difficult for them to get a job. Now, we're trying to make some changes there. And Mike and I were talking about it just earlier. Last year, part of our criminal justice reform package provided a rebuttable presumption for a prospective employer who may be sued for hiring a former inmate. He will have a rebuttable presumption against negligent hiring. The inmate, because of conforming to requirements while he's still in prison, he or she, can take with them a certificate to a prospective employer, and it will give that employer that rebuttable presumption if they do hire that individual, that if some lawyer, and I'm a lawyer, if some lawyer tries to sue that employer for an incident that occurs on the basis that they negligently hired an inmate, that employer will at least have that rebuttable presumption. Now, I asked Mike how many people he thought knew about that. I bet most of you did not know that, did you? I want you to get the word out. That's what employers need to know. They need to hear that. They need to know that they have some degree of protection if some trigger-happy plaintiff's attorney decides to sue them because of that. Now, I've been a member of the bar for many, many years. I was proud that I passed, back in my day, I was proud that I passed the bar before I ever graduated from law school. You used to be able to take the bar exam after your second year in law school, and I was one of those that got that done. I actually was admitted to the bar to practice law 6 months before I ever graduated from law school. But there are a lot of lawyers out there, and some of them are hungry. They just need to feed on something else, because this is not something where they need to get fed. Those are the two biggest things. There's a place to live and a job. Now, what we're trying to do as the state is, while inmates are in our prison system, is to deal with the deficiencies that they have. And many times the deficiencies are very great. I asked that a survey be done several years ago as we were looking at what can we do within the system, the prison system itself, to improve things. And one of the most common characteristics was that almost 7 out of every 10 dropped out of school, which meant they did not have a high school diploma. They will have to work to get a GED if they were going to achieve that goal. And many of them did that, worked hard, and were able to get GEDs. But what we have done is try to say, we're going to fill that void, because that is a basic credential now that you almost have to have, is a high school diploma. And instead of just doing the GED programs, we still have GED programs, but we have now contracted with a charter school who comes into our institutions, and they provide high school classes so that an inmate can fulfill the requirements for a high school diploma and actually get a real high school diploma. And that's making a difference. My goal is to see that program expand so that we have that available in every one of our institutions. That is a great step in the right direction of laying that foundation so that when you get out, you've got some basic educational skills. The lack of marketable skills is one of the greatest deterrents to getting a job, whether it be someone coming out of prison, someone coming out of high school, or wherever. So we have partnered with our technical college system, and we have a great technical college system, by the way, in our state. And they are providing technical skills, and they are doing a great job of it in the area of a diesel mechanic and welders. Those are two areas where there are shortages of people with those skills, and they are coming into some of our institutions. And there again, I would like to see that program of teaching basic marketable skills expand in our system. And we're having great partners on the outside. And I want to give a shout out to Bluebird Bus Company down in Fort Valley. I think they are the largest manufacturer of school buses in the United States. And they need welders. So a couple of years ago, one of our people from the Department of Corrections went to talk to them and said, if we were to train inmates with welding skills, would you give them a job when they are paroled? And they said, well, we'll try it. And they tried it, and they are one of our biggest cheerleaders. They are hiring these individuals. And I don't know whether it's because they were magnanimous enough to do it as part of this program, but their business is growing and they're expanding, and they're going to be hiring more of them. That's the kind of employers that we need more of in the state of Georgia. So for those of you who are attorneys that represent clients, and if you're an attorney and don't have clients, I don't know what you're doing, but most of you have clients. I want you to tell your clients that These are people you need to look at. You need to give them a fair chance and a fair shot. And I am convinced, from my personal knowledge and experience, and Sandra's personal knowledge and experience, you will be glad that you did. You will be rewarded because they are hard-working people. They have made mistakes and they know that. They have been rehabilitated and they want to start life over, and they do not want to make a mistake that will change the course of their direction of their life. So get that message out too. And if you will do that, we will continue to push. I've got this legislative session and I've got next year's legislative session, and I have every confidence that Justice Boggs is going to continue with me to work on criminal justice reform, and we'll have some recommendations for the General Assembly next year as well. We are making progress. It may be incremental in some people's minds, but it is mind-boggling in the minds of those who are still stuck in the old status quo. In fact, earlier this week, I was a part of a video presentation that's being prepared by the 9th District U.S. Courts. And I was interviewed about this. And I am very glad to see that the federal courts and the federal government is now looking at the issue of criminal justice reform. And I'm glad that they're looking at what Georgia has done. And we are seeing, and I know Mike has gotten so many requests to go around and speak to people all over the country. He's not going to have time to write any opinions, so don't appeal anything. He's going to be busy traveling and telling them about criminal justice reform. But people all over this country are saying, what is going on in Georgia? We've got a great story to tell. And thank you tonight for allowing me to say a little bit about what that great story consists of. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you very much. And we have a token, Governor, of our appreciation of you. It's this fine, what is this? Trophy? Award? It says State Bar of Georgia for the Distinguished Service Award, Governor Nathan Deal, for leadership in criminal justice reform from Basics Committee of the State Bar of Georgia, March 4th, 2017. So,
thank you.
Thank you all. I'm proud to be a member of a bar, and I'm proud of what you're doing. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Governor Deal. All right, 2 desserts for you this evening. The one being served on your plate, and now another being served by way of all the team members of Basics. If you could please come forward. Don't be shy. All of you come
I'm going to ask you to hurry to the stage. And we're going to ask Seth, where did Seth go? Where's Seth? Seth, if you would come forward at this time too. And this is going to be really brief because I know the hour is growing late. And so at this time, we just want to let Seth know that we are so appreciative of the work that he does on our behalf. You all wouldn't know how many times he's pleaded for Basics. And Seth, we really, really do love and appreciate you. So Seth, at this time, we just have a small presentation for you.
Before we give him that, I don't know how many of you have seen the Star Kiss commercial, but when that old tuna tries to get in the can, then Star Kiss says, "Sorry, Charlie, only the finest tuna, can be a part of this." And that's what these instructors are. And Seth is one of us. because he has all of those qualities that Ed instilled in the instructors. And I won't go through all of them, but you can imagine what it takes to be able to deal with the individuals in the correctional system and produce characters like we had on the stage tonight. So Seth is now an official basics instructor because he has all the qualities that it takes to be successful. Thank you, sir.
I've done enough talking tonight, but I'm really overwhelmed, and thank you so much. And I just love basics, the basics family, and the basics program. And thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you. So I will say that's it for the program, but there's going to be dancing, there's going to be music, so stick around, and I want to see you all cutting the rug out here.